Welcome back, welcome back. I hope that my name is Helena, and my YouTube channel name is Waboi86. That is WAMBOI 86. And I think that those who started with me yesterday, they already know what we are going to talk. That since now we are on May, and the time for vacation or holiday will start soon as the children closes schools. So I think it's good that we share some of the challenges, some of the things that to consider before taking off for holiday, and I think it's very important. And yesterday, if you are with me, we talk about step one. We started with planning things you should think even before you have booked. You have whatever means of transport you are using. Of course, we talk about some of the things to consider and things you can look at, so that you know that the place you want to visit suit you. And step two, now we have already done. Remember yesterday we talked about choosing the place and doing the research, and then I touched on matters relating on the facilities and the things you expect. I concentrated too much with on the side of flight, those who are taking their vacation by air. So, but I realized that not everybody that will take his or her vacation by air. There are some that will tend to take their vacation far from home. There are some that may intend to take their vacation just a little bit not far away from home. And of course yesterday I realized that I've concentrated on just one side, and I've forgotten that there are other means of transport. We have three major means of transport. We have by air, and that's what I touched most yesterday, because it's the most hectic one, I think, because by road a bus can wait, but not a train, of course. By water or in the water, what do we say? I'm not an English talker nowadays. I am forgetting too much English, so just bear with me. We travel by air, by road, and do we travel in the water or by water? Whatever the case, I know you understand what I mean. So, and I wanted to mention that this video, although I'm live on Facebook, it always be you can follow. If you miss, you can follow me on my YouTube channel. You know I'm a content creator on various matters, cooking, baking, creativity, and I'm a world explorer. That's my area. And there is another additional gift that I have that I love, but it's all creativity. It's currently all my hobbies. Most of the people who have been around me, they know my hobbies, that I love them too much. They give a meaning to my life. And today I wanted to talk about the step two, of the things that you should think, or you should plan, or you should put in consideration before taking off for holidays. And the first thing you should think, and there are some factors. There are some very important factors. After you have selected your site, your location or your area, may it be an area, a city, a nation, everywhere that you want to spend your holiday. Depending on the means of transport, because the major factor here is how you are going to take yourself to the place where you are spending your vacation. I think it's gonna be so hectic if I am traveling from the village where I live to another city, because I can choose to use road. It is not possible to use water, because I cannot take it just for a little distance, maybe to the neighboring. The most and the common means of transport, we know it is by road. It is cheaper and it is not safe. We cannot say by road is the safest. There is no safetiness in that one, but it's the most common means of transport. So depending on the means of the transport that you are taking to the place where you are visiting, that one will give you a guideline. For example, on the kind of things that you want to pack when before your vacations. And when you are packing too, you have to consider. Now you have chosen the means of transport. In mind, when you are packing things, you have to include you have to consider the activity. Which kind of activities are you going to perform or to be involved with when you are in that place? And on top of that, depending on the activity will cause you to mind about the climate, because you may intend to do some activities, but the climate is not allowing you. So it's not just a matter of packing bags or choosing a place. In fact, it is typical Scandinavians. And when I talk about Scandinavia, I talk about Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. So if you come, or if you are settled from one of those countries, after greetings, the next thing, what's the topic of the day that we normally talk here is, when you meet somebody and you are like, you chat a bit, the next thing after the greeting is you talk about the weather. How is the weather? We mind too much about the weather. So that one can be very safe for somebody who is traveling from Scandinavians, because we are very much keen on weather. That one we cannot miss. So the weather, because the weather will help you to determine the kind of clothes you carry and the kind of baggage, the things that you need to pack in your baggage. And when I mean to packing, depending on the means of transport, we go back to the transport. For example, you are traveling by air. Most of the flight companies, they have given you when you buy a ticket, you have the amount of kilos that you are supposed to carry with you. That one you have to put into considerations. And like myself, when I'm flying, I always consider things that are not bulky. So I consider always to visit a place during the time. I consider to visit a place when the climate favor me to carry light clothes, because there I can carry many clothes, and they are easy to pack, because they are not bulky considering with the cold weather clothes. So I consider most of the and then I'm not afraid of cold, of course, because I live in a cold nations. Of course, Sweden is very cold. and I love when I'm getting some sunlight, because half of my ear is always dark, cold, and most of the times I travel to other places so that I can try to balance. You know, when you are colored and you live in those winter street, when you don't take care of yourself, you have to take some D vitamin, iron medicine, some other medicines. Some are important, like magnesiums and calciums. You may intend to have some problem with the you lack some, your body may lack the common and the very important body, what do you call it? What do you call it in English? You know what I mean, the calcium and whatever. They are very important factors for your body to perform or to function the way it is supposed to be. So for me, I intend to visit a place when it is a little bit warmer, not hot. There is a difference between hot and warm. Now I've lived here for a while. I don't, too hot, it tend to be too much for me. So when it's warm, I mean, depending on the tropical countries, like plus 20 is always okay. Other nations plus 20, it means depending on where the nation is located, according to the global map. So that's one way, and that's one way that I have to consider, that I always love to travel when it is warm. And me, I always tend to avoid liquids. And that's why I want to introduce to people that there are so many bars. Before, like when I was traveling this time around, I had some, because when you are traveling, you have to look careful about, and you have to consider some of the things, like you have to look like what are the detergents that you use? Are they available there? Like myself, I normally use the sensitive products, or from head to toe. So I intend not to carry the liquid bar soap. I intend to not to carry the liquid soap, because you know, these bottles you buy, they are very little, and like when you are visiting the very warm places, they are not even enough. Then it depends on whether you are, most of the hotels, I've realized, even most of the global hotels, they don't have the product for the sensitive skin. They might be natural, but I don't use perfume products. That is another problem. So I have to carry with me, and I always love to carry the bar soap, because this is one of the bar soap that I had with me. The bar soap, I intend to use the bar soap, and there is a bar shampoo. Sorry, there is a bar shampoo. You can see there is a bar shampoo, so you don't have to. When you are traveling, just buy a bar. But just buy your bathing detergents in bars. I prefer, because they are easy. You can just put them inside your clothes. Then I'm always very keen not to carry the liquids, because you cannot carry them with the hand luggage. You have to carry them. You have to put them in the bag. What if they open? Those bottles, they get squeezed by the things that you have carried, and they open, they spoil your clothes. That's why I always put an X. I don't travel no more. with the liquid soaps. I don't use the washing detergent liquid when I'm away from home. So, but if I'll be traveling within, I can carry them. It depends, but always when I fly, I get out of the country, bar soap, I prefer it is the best. Then the other thing I wanted to share is when you are traveling, it is good to plan. Now you are planning. Now we have concentrated on one way. Remember, we are planning on how we are going to go. But there is one factor which will also determine what you will carry. The major factor, we have talked about the means of transport. Another thing, we have talked about the climate. But that one is not enough. The kind of place or the place you are visiting, also it depends on what you are going to carry with you. For example, if I'm visiting a place, I always do a research on what can I take with me. Then I do a research, what can I take back with me from that places. For example, nowadays we know that the prices of the food, stuffs, and all that have gone up. So I always visit places and look at the kind of the things that I can carry from a place where I am visiting, depending on the means of transport and whether it's legal or illegal. So I always have this is just a sample of this is just a demonstration of what I do, that I always have a basket. I have 2 baskets like these ones I bought. These are some of the things that I bought when I was away, and you have 2 papers. You put one, things to carry to my vacation holiday, things to carry back from my vacation holiday. So that maybe like when you're traveling to places where you can buy too much things, then you have to consider maybe you have to carry less baggage on your way there. Most of the flights now, they give access to buy an extra baggage in case that you can mess up and you had a lot than you expected. So there is also always access to that now on the plane. So it is good to plan so that you can get. It's not. I've traveled with people and I tried and I've seen most of the people. Most of the people that have problem, like they had not think of what they should take with them from that vacation, and then they can buy things. They tend to buy things, or they just hang with their, or they just have to, like when you meet a person, you can meet unintentionally or you had planned. That person, it's like he or she can rely on your shopping list, and maybe you are from 2 different places, 2 different nations, you have 2 different hobbies, but because you don't have, because you did not plan, you have to rely on the other person. You can, that one can intend to bring impulse buying, and it's not good at all. So always plan, because most of the products, like the products that I bought myself, coffee is a problem. I bought some coffee. These are good coffee. I can recommend. Dorman is I bought it in Kenya, and it's very good. In fact, we have now taken this coffee almost it's about 1 week, and we have seen it's a good quality. So coffee takers. And this one you buy like 50 crowns, maybe it's $5 or $3. It's how much? It's 250 gram. So it's expensive, but I found it too harsh to leave the coffee. Then I normally, when I go to places where I can buy tea, I bought chai. So I bought tea. I love tea. Then I tend to buy some, I love spices. So this one I found it so funny that I could get powder milk in, because I've never seen it somewhere else. Maybe in Thailand there is, but this one I bought and I found it so good for me to use. It is not, yeah, it is, in fact, it is, it's stated that it is imported. I don't know where it was imported, but it have been made by it have been made in Mombasa, Kenya. Then I intend to buy. I like beans, so I like most of the things that we know meat is no goes on. Most of the fruits and the seeds they intend. But as I told you yesterday, it's a matter of checking what you can take and what you don't take. So that is the second part of the factor to consider before you travel to your vacations or you visit a new place. Not only just a vacations. The moment you realize that you are going places, and that place may tend to be new for you, do research. What can I do there? What are the means of transport? What are the hobbies? Check things allowed check things allowed you where you are traveling and see what you can do, and you just have fun. Despite that you are taking your vacation to rest, just have fun. So that's all that I wanted to share with you for today. Thanks for those that have been supporting me. Thanks for those that have been following me on my YouTube channel, that is Wambui86. That is WAMBUI86. Make sure that you share, you subscribe, and we will continue. I don't know whether they are still, it might be a surprise if there is still and another part of these vacation things, because I sat and thought that people are going places soon and they need to be aware of what the challenges or the things or the factor to consider before they plan to take off for vacations. And that's all that I can say for today. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow in the next video. Bye bye.